Good evening, you all. My name is Emily Burgess, and these are my favorite calls. We do these calls once a month where we have a few of our friends that are on our team that we have relationship with, connection with, share a little bit of their story of their experience with Plexus. Stories like these are the stories that made me go from being super skeptical for 4.5 years to going all in and saying, okay, I want to do this. I want to change things for my family. After the 4.5 years of skepticism, thinking these people are crazy, I don't ever want to be one of those girls. The products are, it's like this crazy snake oil, these crazy chumps, they don't know what they're taking. Who knows where their health will be in a year or two. I know best. I'm going to keep chomping my tacos and my ice cream. I know the best way to health, and it's not through these supplements. It was 4.5 years of having that attitude and just thinking these people are crazy. But over those 4.5 years, I was seeing more education on gut health. I had never heard, well, I mean, I had heard of your gut, of course, but I had never heard of gut health. It always sounded like an icky word to me. And so I started to hear more and more about this gut health phenomenon. And I was seeing that girlfriends of mine that I loved and I trusted from college, they were sharing about the products and how the products were helping them and their family members and people in their lives in so many incredible ways. And again, that skepticism would always flare up, and I'd be like, this is crazy. How can one product or how can a product line help in all these areas? And again, through that skepticism, I was still seeing and learning about how the gut is a root cause of so many things that are going on in your health. And so that explained that if you are really focusing on healing your gut, taking care of your gut, making your gut healthier, then you're going to see positive changes in your health. And so I got to a place in December of 2016, or I'm sorry, October of 2016, I got to a place just feeling kind of disgusted with myself. I had two young daughters, and I was always wanting to be active, wanting to eat healthier, but I was just exhausted. I wasn't sleeping at night. I wasn't sleeping deep at night. When I would wake up really, really exhausted, I would just kind of snack on things throughout the day. So I wasn't getting like good nutrients into my system, which also fueled me being fatigued during the day. I had a lot of stomach issues. I had always grown up thinking it was very normal to have the stomach issues that I had. And so, like I said, that 4 years of skepticism, I was seeing what these products were doing for so many other people that I just finally said, okay, I'm ready to try them because I would really like to lose 40 pounds. I don't want anybody to know about it. So I'm going to take these products for about a month. No one will know. I'll lose 40 pounds and I will just be a hot mom. Well, I started on the products, and a month in, I had not lost 40 pounds. I did not reach the vision of that hot mom status that I had in my mind. But what I did see was I would wake up in the morning and I would feel leaner. I was choosing healthier foods over sugary donuts and sugary cereal and chocolate chips and peanut butter. I was using the restroom regularly. That was something that I just didn't think was a problem with me. Honestly, my husband would go to the bathroom a couple times a day, and I thought, gosh, what's wrong with him? But I realized I actually was the one that had some health issues. And I was starting to see more energy. I was starting to sleep deeper, and that Michelin tire around my stomach was starting to go away. And so at that point, I remember feeling like, okay, if this is helping me a month, 2 months in, like it already is, what's it going to be like in 6 months or 12 months? I know I'm not the only tired mom who could benefit from these products. And so after about a month of just really, really deeply like thinking through this, praying through this, making a pro and con list with my husband on what it would look like if I were to continue on the products versus what it would look like if I didn't. And the catch 22 was that if I was going to continue on the products, I had to get my products paid for. My husband and I got married. About a second after we got married, we got pregnant. We both were working part-time. We had done ministry in our previous, before we got married. And anyhow, we just were living on love, didn't have a whole lot of money, and then got pregnant very quickly after we got married. And so we had just kind of lived our life just kind of feeling like we were on this hamster wheel. My husband is incredible. He was working multiple jobs. I was working multiple jobs. I deeply wanted to stay home with my children. I did not want to work an 8 to 5 and miss out on all the things with my kids. And so we made some sacrifices. And part of that was just being extremely tight financially to where we couldn't afford anything extra, including supplements that were turning me into that hot mom. And so after that month in December of 2016, I was really scared because I was really afraid of what other people might think if I were to start up this network marketing company, doing Plexus, becoming one of those girls. I was really afraid of that because I really care about relationships. I really care about people. I want to protect our family name, and I didn't want people to see me and turn the other way because they were afraid I was going to befriend them for my business benefit. But I had this prompting in my heart that it could be bigger than that, and I could create a business that had integrity and character, where I saw other people and I served other people, and in that would change things for my family. I just had this really big vision of what it would look like to be able to not be on that hamster wheel, to be able to travel with our family, to be able to take our kids and let them do sports or ballet or art classes without having to dip into our savings. I had really big dreams of what it would look like for my husband to go and pursue his heart's desire of writing and not have to be strapped to a 9 to 5 job that didn't bring him total fulfillment. And so when I started my business with Plexus in 2017, I was scared to death, but my excitement and my belief and the vision of what it could be for my family trumped that fear. And so I started sharing. I started sharing what I was learning. I started to share my experience, and I was not a professional. I didn't really care about social media. I was not big into social media. And so that was something very scary. But the more I started to do it, the more people were coming out of the woodwork to me saying, you just shared this that really resonated with me, or my son really struggles with this. Can you share with me what you what this regimen or whatever? And so I just had so many people coming to me with these things that they were silently suffering with, because let's be honest, not often when you're having a coffee date are you talking about your bowel movements or even like your anxiety or your depression or any of those things. Like, so often we struggle with health things and just don't talk about it. And so it was a really big honor to start helping people and to start getting emails saying, my husband just said that he has his wife back, or I'm standing in line at the pharmacy right now, and my prescription is half of what my anxiety and depression medication was 2 months ago. Like, that stuff filled me and it fueled me. And so I just continued to share with just such purpose and with such passion. It wasn't about making a dollar, it was about helping other people have just this greater quality of life. And again, I had that vision of what it could be for our family. So fast forward to 6.5 years later, here we are. And we are at the very top of the company. We are so blessed. And I sit around pretty much every day. My husband is working for himself. I'm at home working, being able to be a huge part of our daughters' lives, being a classroom mom, being able to go and have coffee dates with people who are hurting, being able to serve in different ways without having the restraints of financial issues or having a boss to have to ask for time off. And I sit here almost every day and I just think, if people knew how incredible this gift is, if people's vision and belief could trump their fear of what other people might think, oh, I mean, it is such a gift. And there can be so many blessings that come from this that aren't just you. Like, it can bless so many other people. And I just look at this group of women and men that are sitting here today, and my heart is just so humbled and so grateful for all of you all to be here and to be in my life, and to have shaped me and to have changed me in a better way. And I'm just so grateful for you all. I really hope that tonight you guys hear a story that hits you in the heart, resonates with you. And I encourage you to just ask some questions. If you are a man or a woman of faith, I encourage you to just ask the Lord, like, give me direction, give me a peace here. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that peace is comfort. You might be like me in my first year where I wanted to vomit every time I started to talk about plexus, but it was worth it. It was worth working past those fears because so much has changed for our family, so much has changed for my heart, so much has changed for our community, and it's changed us in the most beautiful way. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to pass it off to Lacey Wilcox.
Hi guys, and that was beautiful. Okay, so my name is Lacey. I am a physical therapist by day, and I, like Emily, was super skeptical. And I remember telling my friend, I want nothing to do with telling anybody about this. I'm sure part of it's just my background of like, well, if this is so great, why aren't doctors recommending this, right? Like, why aren't we hearing about this all the time? But I was at my wit's end with my son. He is a twin. He was born, they were both born very, very early. But he had a lot of challenges. His name is Eli. He had cerebral palsy, which affected lots of things. And he really struggled with pooping, like to the point where, I mean, we just had really miserable weekends. We couldn't, like, who really waits for Monday morning to come? Like, right? Most of us are like, oh, we don't want to go back to work. But my husband and I were like, get this kid back to daycare because if we skipped some doses of Miralax, he just was so uncomfortable. And I wish I would have known about these products sooner because he was 5 when we started, almost 6. And we had lived on Miralax, like we had to give it 2 or 3 times a day at a pretty hefty dose. It was a good like 2 tablespoons of Miralax, pretty much every feeding, just to keep him going. And that always wasn't super effective. And so that on top of, he also really struggled with acid reflux. We were just at to the point where I was like, I need to try something else. Like nobody is giving me any other answers. It doesn't matter what I asked several different pediatricians. I asked 2 different GI doctors. One was like a GI specialist. One was a surgeon that did his feeding tube. We tried, essential oils. We tried a naturopathic chiropractor gave me this refrigerated probiotic, which just was super expensive and didn't help us. And so because I was at my wit's end, I'm like, whatever, there's a 60-day money back guarantee. Like what do we really have to lose? And so we just jumped in. I am one that does research, and I did do some research on these products, but not my norm. I'll be perfectly honest, because I was to that point. I'm like, we need to find something. And if it doesn't help, they're natural, so it's not going to hurt them, right? So we jumped in. Within 2 months, actually really within the first month, we were seeing changes. But by that 2-month mark, it was like our lives just took a total 180. He wasn't vomiting anymore. We weren't having to like split and somebody stay home with him and somebody take the other kids somewhere. Like our lives just totally were way different. Like we could do things as a family that we were starting to not do, like go to like Lenten church services. You guys, we got to the point where we either didn't go or like one of us would go with the other kids, because that was evening after supper where he would vomit because his acid reflux was so bad. And so like, I know life-changing sounds terribly cliche, but it truly, for us, it was a complete difference. And so I just kind of got to the point where I was like, well, you know what, like if this could help somebody else, why wouldn't I share? Why wouldn't I want my sister feeling better? And why wouldn't I want my diabetic mom to have some results from this? So I shared about plexus, and I cannot believe how many people, really good friends of mine, that suffer in silence. It's just crazy. So just keep an open mind. Like if somebody asks you to share about it, just remember that there are so many people out there struggling, and some of them are your family members that you don't even know. Like my dad struggled really bad with heartburn, and I knew he had heartburn, but I didn't realize the extent of it. And so it's so cool to see that, like all those people just seeing relief and seeing help from that. Because I shared, I was able to, so plexus, there's different ranks basically. And so I was very like, I don't want to say lucky because it's not luck. I definitely worked at it, but like we were so fortunate to hit a rank that has a 6-figure salary, a trip to Hawaii or Mexico every year, a Plexus Lexus, like we get a car. I don't have it because I take the cash and I drive a minivan and a car. But it's just so insane, like how well we're rewarded for just telling people about something that's helping us. And I got healthier along the way too. I did the products that my son took because he was nonverbal and I wanted to know what I felt like. And so I ended up losing 25 pounds. I had energy. Like, you guys, all we did was run 2 appointments with Eli. Like, it was just a constant on the go. I worked full time as a physical therapist, along with having 2 other kids beside Eli. And I was addicted to Dr. Pepper or anything sweet, honestly. And so it was just completely like complete health changes for us, just in the fact that like I didn't crave the sugars and I lost weight and had the energy to like keep up with my other 2 kids after we ran this marathon with Eli. And so again, I just want to just reiterate, like, just keep an open mind to how many people, like, you can make a really big impact here. And it seems silly, like, tell them about your pink drink. Like, that can seem like such a silly thing, but there are so many issues related to your gut that a lot of people don't even know, mood, anxiety, skin issues. And so you really can touch a lot of people. I'm going to pass it off to, I think it's Hannah next.
That was amazing. Thank you for sharing, Lacey. I love that. Yes, my name's Hannah. I'm in Boise, Idaho. I am a mom of 4 and was a pediatric nurse at the hospital. And I honestly like to share this as the business had found me. It wasn't something I was seeking out or looking for. We were fine, comfortable, but we were drowning in debt. Just stressed about money with countless budget talks and tears and just like, when are we ever going to get ahead? I long to be home with my kids more, knowing that they're little once, but it's hard to justify cutting hours at your current job when you see this mountain of debt. I was a stressed out, burnt out nurse. I hated my work schedule dictating my life schedule. I hated missing the weekends that my family was heading to McCall because I had to work. I hated working till 9 o'clock at night and I missed out on the baseball game, or I felt like I was so dictated by the schedule that I didn't have control over. I did not like having to not do a summer vacation because we didn't get the PTO off. Like, there was just so much about it that was frustrating for me. And I felt this lack of time that I desperately wanted at home. So just paraphrasing with that, or starting off with that. And then here we are. I've been on this journey for 6 years, and time again, I've seen through different seasons of my life that the provision of this opportunity has changed the way my life looks now. It's required work, it's required growth, and a can-do attitude, but the women on this call are proof that you put in the time and the work and it can happen. So when I first started, I was looking for a good multivitamin. I'd been through a couple of pregnancies and I wanted something high quality, and I understood the importance of supplementing at this point. But I also was very nervous to put, like, I was nursing a baby at the time and I didn't want anything harmful. I wanted something only helpful, which is so ironic that I took a prenatal off the Target shelf without a second thought. But then when it came to this, I was like, I had to become the researcher, and I needed to know everything in it, where it was coming from, how it was packaged, the capsules it was in, like all the details of it. And so spent months researching all of this, and it actually made this huge shift in like, what is going on here in the nurse, as a nurse and in the hospital. We are so quick to treat symptoms, right? Like, oh, you have acid reflux, we're going to give you this anti-reflux medication. And it's like, why do we have the reflux? Oh, we have constipation, we're going to do a bowel clean out. But it's like, what's the constipation coming from? Like, there was never any analysis of the root issue. And I think that's what I really fell in love with, is that Plexus has such high quality, effective, and simple products that really address these root issues of gut health, blood sugar balance, decreasing inflammation, increasing your nutrient absorption. And so all of those things are so critical for us to feel and function our best. I love the comment, this sounds too good to be true, because it shows this vast like array of issues that can be dealt with, because the symptoms of these imbalances will manifest themselves in a different way for everyone. So anyways, all that to say, as a nurse, like got really excited about what I was learning. And I noticed some health changes for myself. My milk supply took off with my baby girl. I wasn't constipated anymore. And that was something that was normal. Like, didn't think twice about that. Turns out you need to be eliminating at least once a day. Otherwise, you cut off your number one way to detoxify your body, and you're going to have a whole nother issues coming up later. I wasn't craving those sweets, and I just noticed that my energy was better. I wasn't running off of naps and caffeine to make it through my day and still crashing and still waking up exhausted. Like I never felt energized. So that was truly life-changing for me. And as I was open with my journey and being able to help other people who are also looking for something to help their issues, and they were tired of being through the ringer with hospital visits or medications or whatever it might be. And so being able to have this more natural preventative approach really fueled a passion in me. And so then it was just kind of fun, or it was very fun at the beginning. And then about a year or two in, I reached a rank that was matching my part-time nursing income. And so, like I said, this business kind of found me, is that that's when the light bulb went off on like, wow, this is legit. Like, this is truly, there's something to this. And if I was to apply myself more and treat this more like a business, then what could that do for our family? And so then that is where there was another shift with just how I showed up and the approach. And here we are now at one of the top levels of the company. And I have seen it, like I said, provision throughout. And one of those big moments was when the pandemic came and I was getting called off nursing shifts. My husband's dental office closed. And there was this shift of aggressive repayment on our student loans to, wow, this is now providing for the groceries, for our utilities, for the gas, like all of the things. And so it was a new perspective of seeing like multiple streams of income and the importance of that. I was able to drop hours at the hospital to like improve my work-life balance. And so I worked the hospital for a long time while doing Plexus, and still just thrived in this like work from home, get time at home. I'm owning my own schedule. And then I was at the hospital a little bit, but a year ago I had my fourth baby. And I had stepped into homeschooling. And so it was time to close the chapter at the hospital and be home full time, run this business. And I can't, like, Plexus truly is a big stepping stone to making that happen. When we hit one of the top levels of the company in 2 years, we were making $10,000 payments towards our student loans to pay off over $240,000 in student loan debt. And now we have paid that off, and that's gone. And that truly is also because of saying yes to this opportunity, doing something uncomfortable, stretching myself, growing, and just loving what this offers. And so I share all of that just to plant those seeds of like, what if this was able to create that margin in our life, to pay off that medical debt, to whatever it could be, and really dream big, because a lot of times we accept our life the way that it looks and just that's the way it's going to be. And when you see the opportunity with Plexus, you recognize that that doesn't have to be the case. Like, this is a way to change things and the way your life looks to align with more of your priorities. So and at the end of the day, you're prioritizing what matters. A lot of times we think like, well, I don't have time to add something to my day or my life, but you make time for what matters. And so whether that's cutting out your Netflix watching at night, or it's staying up an hour past your family goes to bed and you're doing quality work with growing your business, then you can make something of this for sure. So that's my story in a nutshell. And I'm passing it off now to Cara.
Thanks, Hannah. Man, I have been trying to figure out all day what part of my story I want to share. And I wanted to just kind you hear a lot of these stories of, man, the business found me. I wasn't looking for anything. And that is not my story. And sometimes at the beginning of my journey, I was like very kind of nervous to talk about why I joined the business. But now I know that a lot of people are probably where I was. And so I try not to shy away from that now. And so I'll paint a picture really quickly of kind of how I started this business. And so I started in January of 2018. And 6 months prior to that, I didn't even know what Plexus was. I had no idea. And I live in Arkansas, y'all. And like there's Plexus everywhere in Arkansas, but I did not know. I did not know what it was. And y'all, my fire alarm is going off. I don't think there's a fire, but my husband Liz, will you go real quick and I'll just check to make sure that everything's okay, and then I'll come back in.
Yeah, you go make sure your house is not burning down. I think that's a great idea. Well, y'all, I am not from Arkansas. I am from Minnesota. I am a mom to 3 little girls. We're foster parents, so we always have like lots of extra kids in our house. We used to be a homeschooling family. We are not a homeschooling family now. I was a stay-at-home mom for 9 years before trying out a new probiotic, and like unlike Cara, the business found me, and I realized what I was sitting on, and I took a hold of it and ran with it. So I had not earned a paycheck in 9 years. Like, I was a stay-at-home mom. We were fine. We knew how to pinch pennies. We didn't buy the blueberries at the store because they were expensive, and we bought day-old meat, but we were fine, right? We were doing okay in all senses of the word. And I was someone who I've struggled with digestive issues like pretty much my whole life. And so I had taken a probiotic for like 15 years. I'd tried lots of different ones. I had been to like naturopathic doctors. I'd been to like medical doctors. I'd done all sorts of different things to find something to help my digestive issues, and nothing ever really worked. And so when I saw my friend sharing about this, and sharing how much better she was feeling and all this stuff, I was like, I think I'm like pretty healthy, but like maybe it'll help. Like, I'll give it a try. And so I got started on it, and I fell in love quickly. It was like a few weeks in, I was noticing I was sleeping deeper. I had more energy, like all of these little things that I didn't even realize. Good. I'm glad you're not burning down, Cara. Like, I didn't even realize that I wasn't sleeping deep before. I didn't even realize that I didn't have great energy. I just thought it was normal for moms to like wake up in the morning and wait for nap time. I thought it was normal to just kind of feel tired all the time as a mom because you're chasing kids all the time. Like, you guys, that is not normal. Like, it's not. You're meant to feel good. You're meant to have energy, like, for your day, to be able to go outside with your kids, to go for a walk, to jump on the trampoline, like all of these things, and have the energy to do that. And so once I like realized that this worked, I was like, hey, this is awesome. Like, I need to tell people about this, just like I would anything else in my life, right? If I go to Target and I find something that like super good deal on, I don't know, a salad dressing right now. I'm like obsessed with these Brianna's salad dressings. They're really good. Okay. Just like anything else in my life, I would go and I'd tell my friends about it. Like, hey, this is awesome. You should try it out. Target doesn't pay me for that. Plexus pays me for that. Which is awesome, by the way. And I quickly realized that like gut health is related to everything. I think it's like 70% of your body's immune cells are produced in your gut, 90% of your body's serotonin, so like your happy hormone. So it can help for like, this can literally help with everything, and everyone has a gut. And so I'm like, everyone needs to know about this. And so I started to tell people about it, and I realized quickly that I was sitting on a gold mine, because everyone has a gut. Everyone can benefit from these products. The products speak for themselves. People get started. They want to tell people about it because they work. And so I grabbed a hold of the opportunity and I got to work. And I worked hard. But I worked hard at night instead of watching Netflix. Like, totally worth it. I worked hard for an hour in the afternoon while my kids watched a show. Totally worth that hour. 1000% worth that time. And I did it consistently, and I did it with discipline, and it was so worth it, you guys. The stay-at-home mom for 9 years who had earned $0 in 9 years now earns a 6-figure income from home, still a stay-at-home, still home with my kids. We still have foster babies. We are still able to say yes all the time. I'm still able to go all of my kids everything in May. Like, why are there so many activities in May, you guys? If you have kids in school, like, what is going on? But I'm able to be at all of it, right? I'm able to do all of those things, but I also earn this income from home. I'm able to help other women do the same. I'm either able to use those like leadership skills that I kind of forgot that I had as a mom for a lot of years. I'm able to use those skills now to empower other women and develop other women and show them like, you're not meant to feel like junk. You don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. Like, you don't have to trade time with your babies for money. Like, there's a lot of, just like a lot of opportunity there. And I absolutely love that part of this. One part, I wanted to say this, I forgot that. My husband is a dentist, and right, like, you think dentists make great money and it's great, and that is true, but we also sit like with a mountain of student loan debt. And when COVID hit in 2020, my husband's dental office was closed for 3 months. Like, 3 months, no income coming from my husband. Well, 7 months prior to that, I had started Plexus. And so my Plexus income carried our family of 5. Trying to think if we had an extra kid at that point. I don't think we did. So our family of 5 carried our family of 5 through that time. My income. He didn't have anything. Like, I honestly, like, he's like, we would have like lost our house. Like, I don't know. Maybe there was programs so you didn't lose your house, but like, we would have not been in a good spot had it not been for Plexus. But God knew that me trying this little probiotic and saying, hey, this works, I'm going to tell people about it. Like, and then getting to work and grabbing a hold of the opportunity and doing the work required, like, so worth it, you guys. So if you've like, sorry, I hope that you're feeling a little bit inspired tonight. I hope you're feeling a little bit like, if they can all do it, I can do it. And that is 1000% true, because each of our stories is very different, right? We all have very different personalities. Like, I am everywhere and all these things, like, all very different people. And it doesn't require, being successful here does not require a certain personality. It doesn't require a certain look. It doesn't require a certain anything. We all happen to be women, but there are men who are diamonds in the company too. And it's possible for anyone. So, Cara, your house did not burn down. We would love to finish hearing your story now.
So sorry about that, y'all. It hasn't done that. And then as soon as I start talking, it's going off. Anyway, we're all good. I walked outside and my husband said, what are you doing? I was like, the fire alarms were going off. What are you doing? He's like, it's okay, go back. I was like, okay. So I'll start over. And I started Plexus January of 2018, 6 months prior. I had no idea what it even was. I was pregnant, 6 months prior, I was pregnant with my first daughter, working full-time as a physical therapist. And my husband and I were working very hard to pay off our student loans. And so there we were. That's the picture I'm painting. I had had people reach out to me about network marketing companies in the past, but it was never something that I was interested in or even open to, mainly just because I had a really good job and I liked my job. And we were already paying off our loans. We were already making extra payments. Like, we were being very good financial stewards of what we had. And so I just didn't really have any need for more. I didn't really have any want for more. And so, and then I had my first daughter in December of 17. And I was looking at her, rocking her. She was 2 weeks old at the time. And I thought, oh, I just want to stay home with her. That was my desire. And I did not think that would be my desire. I knew that I would love her, but I did not know that I wanted to be home with her. And so this is the Lord's provision for us, because I think if I would have thought about Plexus for a long, long time, I probably would have talked myself out of it. But in the newborn fog, I believe the Lord used a Facebook algorithm, I saw a post from Emily. She shared I saw a post from her that said, if you've made $500 a month with Plexus, comment below. And there were like 40 people that had commented on this post. And I thought, man, if I could make $500 a month, we could put an extra $6,000 of student loan debt of money towards our student loans every year. $6,000 a year. We are already like, we were already putting an extra 6,000. That was like incredible for me. And so when I started Plexus, that was my goal. It was not my goal was to pay off my loans and then stay home with my kids. And I thought the quicker I pay off my loans, then I can stay home with my kids, because our minimum loan payment was $1,100. So like, there was no way that I was not going to quit my job to do that, because we needed the income to pay even just the minimum, not much less the overage that we were doing. And so I reached out to Emily. I practically begged her to sign me up, because I was like, I'm ready. Like, she was trying to talk me into it. And I was like, no, I'm like ready, because I trust you. I don't know what Plexus is, but I'm going to start taking this, because I'm not going to sell anything that I'm not taking myself, and I'll just share along the way. I'll just share what wins I'm noticing. I don't even know that I need any products. I had a healthy pregnancy, healthy delivery. Other than being tired, but what newborn mom isn't tired? And so I just like jumped in and tried to make money on my maternity leave. And that was kind of my goal. And so fast forward, because goodness, we're 5.5 years later. I have had, I would say, like, just the word is consistency. I've just been very consistent, and I've just like grown slowly. We've just grown slowly. And 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years into my business, I was able to reduce my hours at the hospital, because my Plexus income was like half of my full time. So I could like reduce that. And so I was splitting my time, half PT, half Plexus, and being able to have a little bit of wiggle room. And I took Molly my oldest down to part-time care. So there were 2 days a week that I was home with her, and we were still putting money towards our loans. And then 3 years in, I had another baby girl, and then I was able to we hit a rank that allowed me to stay home completely with my girls, because my Plexus income had fully replaced my PT income. And so that wasn't even what I was planning to do when I started. It was mainly just if I can make $500 a month, if I can make $500 a month. And then I started making $500 a month, and Emily was making $1,500 a month. And I was like, if I can make $1,500 a month, then that's an extra however much towards our loans. And so it just kind of grew in that. And then we got to the point where I was like, oh my goodness, I'm making what I'm making as a PT. Like, how is this even possible? And so I think that for me in my journey with Plexus, it was more just kind of I am just going to work for that next thing that I knew that I needed, of like, we needed to pay off the loans. So, we're 5.5 years in, we have paid off all of our student loans. We have cash flowed my husband's master's degree. We've been able to give more just abundantly than we ever thought we could. And I'm home with my babies. I have 3 beautiful girls, and I'm home with them all day long. And so sometimes too much, but I've talked to a lot of moms about, they're working full time, and that's hard. And also staying home is hard too. So there's like hard in both instances. And so it's kind of these choices. And so I'm not working for a paycheck. I'm not working for that. I'm working just to have more flexibility in my choices. And so what is the choice that I want to make? I'm so grateful that I have my physical therapy degree. I think that I will still use it. I'll still use the knowledge. I've gained so much of just like working hard for something. In that I use a lot of, when I was in PT school, a lot of that and those skills in my Plexus business, and just being able to utilize this business, the Lord has given it to me. And so we have this open hand policy, just like we did with PT, and just this open hand policy of the Lord has given this to me right now. I'm going to steward it well. And I want to just share it with others because I know that it can help people. I like everyone has shared tonight. I know that it can help you meet your health goals. And so I'm really passionate about that. Not just health goals, but your financial goals too. And so being able to help other women do that, it has been a joy to be able to help other people quit their job if they want to do that, or other people have more choices. And that has been such a gift to be able to have just a small little hand in that. And so that's all that I have. I'm definitely open. If you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. I'm happy to share. But it has been such a blessing in my life. And I'm just so, so grateful just to have a little bit of freedom in those choices. So I'm going to pass it back over to Liz. She's going to talk, or you can tell everybody what you're going to talk about.
Okay, guys, I gave everyone really strict rules, and I told everyone 5 minutes. We're going to be really short and sweet. Like, we're going to get done with this in a half hour, and we didn't. Okay, we took 45 minutes, and now I'm going to tell you how to run a Plexus business. And Emily has this very, very beautiful PowerPoint, but I feel like that might take us like another half hour, and I want to go to bed at some point. You guys probably do too. So does anyone have any questions? You can either unmute yourself or put them in the chat. First of all, like if you have any questions about for any of us, or like about how you do this, what this looks like, anything like that. Awesome. Okay. Cara says when she first started, she wanted to know what you did every day. So if you're like just getting started out and you're curious about the opportunity, maybe how much it costs to get started. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So let's start with how much it costs to get started. And you can talk to whoever invited you here to talk a little bit more about that. But to start your business, it will cost you $10 to get a membership. And that gives you access to your referral link, which you will share with people. Most of our welcome packs, we have kind of different welcome packs based on your needs. And that will kind of vary based on what your health needs are and stuff like that. But under $200 for a month's worth of a lot of product, more product than you would need, and $10 to get started with the business to get that referral link that you can use. So totally worth it. Okay. Like, you can earn right now for, let me pull it. I have this whole PowerPoint. Do you guys want to see the PowerPoint? I can't see your faces. So you tell me. No one's telling me. Okay. I'm not going to show you then. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm funny. Okay. Anyway, so for referring 3 people in the month of May, you can earn $305. So you're going to spend $10 to start your business, and then you're going to pay for your products for the month, whatever products you decide that with your whoever invited you here, and you refer 3 friends. So you send your link to 3 people who do the same thing you did, and you make $305. If you refer let's go to 9 friends. You would earn $820. 6 friends is $415. Like, that's insane. 9 friends, $820. Like, that is insane, right? Okay, what was so Nancy, I would love for you to ask whoever shared the products with you about gas. I had really bad digestive issues, and the triplex really helped me, but it did take time. I would say it probably took 6 to 8 weeks for my gut microbiome to kind of balance out and things to balance. And there is a period of like some detox as candida is dying off and your gut is balancing. So that can totally happen. Okay. Cara says when you first started, she wanted to know what we did every day. So part of the work of Plexus, basically all of the work that we do, we recruit new people, right? We tell new people about the products. So we have to talk to people about Plexus. We have to tell people that we're using these products, and that we love them, and share them with others. And so part of what I do every day is I try to talk to 5 new people a day about Plexus, whether that's in person at the park, whether that's calling people on the phone, whether that's a message, an email, whatever that is. I try to talk to 5 new people about Plexus every day. Another part of recruiting people is following up with people, because people are not going to buy the first time you talk to them, right? That's like a sales statistic. Like it takes like 12 points of contact before someone's ready to buy. So if you're talking to people once or twice and telling them that, hey, I love these Plexus products, and they don't buy right away, like they're not going to. And that's totally normal. I went and looked at cars this spring to look at my Plexus Lexus. You guys, like, it was really sweet when I got in it. But then I was like, I have a minivan and I can like press the button to open the doors, and I'm just not ready to get rid of that quite yet. But it was incredible. Anyway, this guy called me, I mean, like 50 times. Like he's still following up with me now. I'm like, that's a good salesman. Like he knows what he's doing, right? We have to follow up with people. They're not going to be ready to pull the trigger the minute we share with them. And you're not just following up with them to like make a sale or whatever. Like, you know that these products can help, but it's scary. We've all been there, right? To try a new, if you're already started, you've been there to try a new thing. Like you've tried everything to help whatever that issue is. And it's scary to try a new thing. And so following up on them, being their cheerleader, letting them know that like you really believe in this. So that's all part of recruiting. We have to recruit new people. We have to retain our current people. We have to take care of our current customers. So once someone buys Plexus, you stay in contact with them. Like I talk to my people often because I want them to have a good experience. It's not like going to Target and buying your vitamins and then marching on your way. And no one ever checks in on you. Like customer care and loving on your people and making sure they have a good experience is a big part of this job. And then telling those people when they fall in love, like, hey, you have a referral link too. We call that duplicating. So, hey, you have a referral link too. And she shares it with 3 people, and all of those people are on your team. And that's called duplicating. So duplicating your team beyond just the people that you personally talk to every day. And so that kind of goes with customer care, and then leading your team, working on yourself, working on personal development, working on growing yourself. Because like Nancy says here, how did you get over your fear? Like this job it's simple. It is like, I have to talk to new people about Plexus. I have to follow up with people. I post on my social media. That's kind of like my commercial marketing, and take care of my people. I have to take care of my people who are on Plexus. But a huge part of all of that is you have to get over yourself. You have to get over the fear of what other people are going to think of you. You have to get over the fear of what Sally that you went to high school with 15 years ago might think if you send her a message asking her if she wants to check out Plexus. Like Sally is not sitting in your living room paying your bills. So sorry, Sally. Like, I mean that in a nice way, but we still care about Sally, but I don't care about her opinion of me. She's not making the money that I'm making doing this. Sorry if that's mean, but it's true. It's worth it. It's worth it to have Sally from high school 15 years ago who you haven't seen judge you. It's 1,000% worth it when you get to be with your kids all day. If that's what you desire, it's 1,000% worth it to see the weight on my husband's shoulders, like just melt. I can take our family on vacation now. It's not like all him. I can take him on vacation. We're going to Nashville in a couple of weeks for our convention. It's going to be super fun. And like, he's coming and my daughter's coming, and we don't even have to think about that. Like, it's just going to be a fun time, all of us. And just to see that like weight off of his shoulders after 9 years of just supporting us is 1,000% worth it, worth getting over your fears. So if you can and that's a really big part of this business, is having a vision for like why you're doing this, because it is hard. It's not easy. So you need to think about like, why do you want this? What are you working towards? Like, what would your days look like if money and time weren't issues. Like if your bank account were full, you had time and you didn't have to go to work for 8 hours a day, like what would your days look like? Like have a clear vision for why you're going to do this. Like what would that look like? Why is it worth it? Get over yourself, get over the fears and do it scared and do it anyway. I have one rule in my business. I have a lot of rules in my business, maybe, but I don't like rules. This is my one rule. I really like this rule. If it scares me, if I don't want to do it, I'm like, oh, it kind of makes me want to throw up. I really don't want to do that. I better do it. Like, because that's where growth happens. That's when I see my business explode, when I do the thing I don't want to do. Like when I send that message that like, oh, I don't know, like, who cares? Send it. Have a glass of wine and send the messages or whatever, however that works for you. Like just do it because it is worth it to do it. So figure out why you're doing this. Figure out, have a clear vision for what this could do for your family after listening to all these stories. Figure out why you're doing this. Write it down. Like, why do you want this? Why do you want your days to look like that? What could this do for you? Build your belief in Plexus. Build your belief in the products. You heard all of these stories tonight. If I ever am like, oh, do these products really even work? Like, go listen to Lacey Wilcox's story again. It makes me cry every single time when I hear about Eli, every single time. And it reminds me why I'm doing this. It reminds me why it matters that I share these products, because it really, truly matters that we share these products, because otherwise, Lacey Wilcox in Fordville, North Dakota, which is a tiny little town, maybe would have never heard about these products. And then Eli Wilcox maybe never would have gotten the help he needed. Like, it matters what you're sharing. And so remind yourself of that. Build your belief in network marketing. Emily, again, see, I should just show you this slideshow. She had a really cool thing. It's really long, guys, of 10 benefits of working in network marketing. And it was just like, you get to add value to people. You get to provide options for your future. You grow yourself. And this is by John Maxwell. Everyone starts on a level playing field. I mentioned before that my husband's a dentist, right? And he makes a great income, and that's great for him. But he went to a lot of freaking school to be a dentist, like a lot of school, and it cost him a lot of money. You can get started for $10 and make what he makes. $10. Like, that's insane. That is insanity. Starts to develop lifelong friends. Like, we are all friends here. Like, keep looking at Melanie and Kanya laughing at my jokes, and they're just like really carrying me on here. So thanks for that. You get awesome experiences. We've got to go to Hawaii. We're going to go to Mexico. We got to bring my family to Disney World last year. Like, so many cool things. You learn while you earn. So as you're learning things about Plexus, you're earning money. Like, do it, you guys. Do it scared. Totally worth it. Any other questions? Oh, when I first started, I wanted to know if I would have to figure it all out alone. Absolutely not. Like, you don't have to figure it out. Hannah, who shared on here, is who I signed up with. And I used to send her like screenshots of everything. Like, what do I say to this? What do I say to this? What do I say to this? Lacey used to put me in three-way conversations with her people all the time. And she was just like working as a PT while I was making her money at home. But for real, like, you are not doing this alone. We have so many resources. Emily is like the most incredible leader ever and has like thousands of resources and thousands of things set up to help you succeed. We've gone before you. You have a team. This is a team of successful leaders. Like, I don't just say that to like brag, but like, we have all done this. Like, we know what we're doing. And when I started my business, I looked at Emily. I had a call with Emily. Like, I earned this 15-minute maybe call with Emily. And I remember being in my kitchen. And I remember just thinking like, well, if she did it, I can do it. I'm just going to do whatever she tells me to do. And I just did what she told me to do because she did it. She knew how to do it and it worked. So just keep going. Any other questions that people might have? I can send you all the really beautiful PowerPoint. I should ask Emily because she made it, but it's really beautiful. Sorry you guys missed it. It's too bad for you. I'm kidding. Thanks. Okay. If there's no other questions, we've been on almost an hour, so let's hop off. But you can do this. I want you to know that, like, if you're feeling a little bit of a sense of like, whoa, if this crazy lady can do it, if all of these girls have done this, like, could I do this? Might this work for me? Like, 1,000,000%. you can do this. We have the resources, we have the tools, we have the team of success, like successful women who have done this before, paving the way for you. Like, you can do this. You can be in Mexico with us when we go on our jewel trip in September. Like, I'm hoping to get a package soon. I'm trying so hard to get people to sign up. Says Shayna. Yeah. Shayna, that's awesome. Work with whoever invited you here and share the products with heart. One suggestion I have is just share the products, share everything you share on social media, like any of the things that you do, like share them with the idea that you're going to help others, because you are. Like, we're not selling, I don't know, I see an elliptical, my workout machine. I'm not selling workout. Well, that actually changes people's, that helps people too. What am I not selling that doesn't matter? I don't know, basketballs. I'm not selling basketballs. I'm selling supplements that are actually going to help people and change people's lives. Nancy and Lacey have helped so much. Yeah, that is so awesome. So go get it, Shayna. Like, you can do this. Have an others focused mindset. Like, who are you going to help? How can you, like, who can you think of that could benefit from these products? That's a great place to start. Make a list of 20 people you know that you think could benefit from the products. Okay, I hope that this was helpful. We got off in an hour. We did it. I hope it was helpful. I hope that you are feeling inspired. If you have specific questions, please ask whoever invited you here. Let's do it. Get started. Don't think about it too much, because you might convince yourself not to, and that's going to be a really bad decision, I promise, because it's so worth it. Like Cara said, if she would have thought about it more, she might not have done it, and then she wouldn't be where she is today. If I would have thought about it more, I maybe wouldn't have done it either, and I wouldn't be where I am today. Lacey, Hannah, Emily, all of the same. So just don't think, just go do it. I hope you guys all have a good night.